wire and I'm running my last leg here. This is going to be the 110 and the 220 both in one pipe, which is going to drop down and be able to have this. This is a twist lock plug system for the SO cord, and I'm just pulling my wire, and I didn't use a snake at all for any of it, so it's probably hard to see, but the little end is right there, and I just have to basically pull it in and leave some excess here. But I got everything roughed in. I definitely was liberal with my amounts that I left here. Maybe some of you electricians are going, "You're wasting wire," but whatever. And then so on and so on through there and there. Now, this circuit over here, this pipe I should say, this main pipe, has the Bridgeport circuit, which is going to be on its own circuit, and all these outlets. So it's that outlet. I got the Bridgeport circuit going straight through. It just kind of passes on through. And there's a little drop down here for this other outlet, which is going to be part of just the outlets circuit. The Bridgeport circuit goes through here. Now again, I put that in there, that junction box. I really didn't even need it, but it's there for any future expansion. There's no junction. All the wires simply just pass through. They just bend right down. I did put a curl extra wire in case I ever did have to expand and tap in. So the Bridgeport circuit comes in here, and then the other one, the other regular outlets one, just passes through, and then boom, boom, and boom. So that's it. I'm just here by myself pulling this wire. I haven't hit any problems. Everything just went in easy. It really started off as me, wanting to start with this one right here, and I said, I'll just put a couple of pieces through here. There's no reason to pull it with a fish tape. And then it was like, well, let me see if I could do that. And 2 hours later, it's all done. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now all I have to do is find my wire strippers. I was gonna start making little pigtails tonight for all the outlets that I have laying all around here. I figured I'd sit down, bring it in the living room, put some TV on or whatever, and I can't find my wire stripper. So I figured, well, you know what? I don't need to strip wire to rough the wire in, and lo and behold, it's all done. So that's good news. Now it's really just about connecting the breakers and the outlets, the devices. I started to wire some of the outlets up, so I got the two 220s going. And I was running into some difficulty. The wire is thick, and trying to wrap it around the ground terminals and stuff, it just became problematic. So, I have all these little forks here, so I just started making up my own pigtails. And I did a bit of a manufacturing process, which I will show you. Right here I made, I don't know, 26 or so of these. I counted out how many I needed, because basically one will go on each terminal, each outlet to the grounding lug. Then these two grounding wires are going to get wire nutted with another pigtail, and that's all, it's all going to go to the grounding lug inside each device box, junctions and stuff like that. So anyway, we got these, and then I just did some manufacturing here. Put these little jumpers in, I cut them up. It's a nice activity to do while you're watching TV at night. And I did that last night. So I'm just looking for some time now to get back in here and, finish up everything. Put the boxes in, get it all buttoned up. connect them to the outlets, and then boom, we'll have power. I got the Romex here, little length of 25 feet, which will be for the lights. Power, it will be coming very shortly. I hope over the next couple of days. I'll just give you a shot of the box here. Yeah, I left a lot of extra wire, but I don't really care. Got my breakers, put them in, get it all buttoned up, and we'll be done. And then it's gonna be moving day. The devices needed to have pigtails for the grounding, so I cut up a bunch of the grounding wire and made pre-made pigtails, and using some crimpers I installed the fork terminals on them. And here's a close-up of the finished outlet. You could see the pigtails all joined up on the grounding lug with the main grounding wire and the little jumpers that are connecting both outlets. Now on the faceplate you'll see the center holes. I have screws attached, and what that does is it pulls the outlet into place and holds it there, so I can put the screws on the tops and the bottoms. You'll see those 4 other holes. Now you have 3 bolts holding each outlet in place, which is a really strong way to mount it. And here's another close-up of the jumpers that attach the 2 outlets. And over here we could see all the pigtails again, nice close-up of that. And here's a close-up of the ceiling mounted 220 lathe outlet. Same thing with the pigtails and the ground wire going to the ground lug. You'll notice that I've wrapped the outlet with tape, which I've done with all of the outlets, and what that does is it protects you from getting shocked if you ever have to open up the box and fix something. And here's a shot of the boxes all buttoned up. You'll notice the 110 box up on the ceiling as well, and that's for a DRO or a work light. And those cords are fairly lightweight, so they should have no problem just plugging in and staying there. Well, we are all done now with all the electricity. Everything works, everything is buttoned up. I'll show you the panel, all done. I do got to get little plugs here. I don't know if that will pass code because you could stick your finger in there and get zapped, but you know, here's all the things. I'm gonna finish marking it all and label it all appropriately, but Bridgeport regular circuit with all the outlets. We've got our grinder, the 2 grinders, 2 220s that are over there. That's here. We have a 20 amp for this guy, which is going to be more grinders and buffers and whatnot. Definitely wanted a 20 amp on there because when you're buffing, grinding, that thing is just spinning fast. It's got the momentum grinding, but when you're pressing on a buffer, that really kind of sucks the juice. So this guy here is for the lathe. This is a double pole 220 15 amp. The lathe requires 10 amp, so I got a 15. And then this one here is a 15 amp for the one that goes on the ceiling and goes up there. That's going to be for DRO, a work light, or you know, maybe a grinder, tool post grinder. And then we have the 30 amp, which goes down here for the welder. All right, that's done. And it all works. Next, lights. Now I don't have any video footage of this, but I found this on Craigslist. It's a heavy-duty workbench, and it came out of some computer laboratory. Again, a Craigslist find, $150. I couldn't pass it up. It has an overhead light. It's got a power strip. It's got like a footrest or some kind of a shelf that goes underneath it, and you could even use the top light overhead as a shelf. So it's 6 foot wide by 3 foot deep, and again, it's very heavy duty, and it's going to make a great bench in the shop. For the undershelf lighting now, I went to Home Depot and I got these Lithuania, they're 4-foot LED mini strips. These things crank out, ooh God, 2100 lumens a piece. All right, so these things are bright. And here is a close-up, the model number. All right, so what I did was I cut a little bit of this cord, because this cord was too long. This was the original light over there. This was a I think they're T12 bulbs, the fatter ones, but the fixture was trashed. So I recycled the power cable. So it comes in, it wire nuts with the ground, the black, and the common, okay? And I've also put a jumper in here. Jumper goes out, wire nuts with this power cord, and the same thing goes into this light. Same deal. It just wire nuts right into the 3 power wires that's in the fixture, and that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just pre-drill 4 holes and screw it to this little raised part here where you would mount a lighting fixture, and then we'll put it back up on top of the uprights here. So this is really turning out to be a really cool bench. This big heavy duty lab bench. All right, let's get this installed and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So just a little bit about how I'm doing this now. These measured out to 46.5 fixtures. We have 71 inches from this inside edge to the other. 46.5 minus 71, divide that in half. That's our measurement. 12.25 is our measurements here. So we're just lining them up, and I'm just drilling a pilot hole, a little pilot drill. Just locking them down. Not super tight, not wrenching anything down. And these are really nice because they just put them here, pop that in, and they just lever shut and snap in. And when you want to open them, you just push in the little tab and it releases. So there we go. There's our installation, nice and clean. I'm gonna have to put the camera down to get this up, but let's do that now. All right, that took about 30 seconds. We hoisted it up, and then you can see there's some little locking screws here. There we go. And it really just locks these shelf standards to the shelf itself. All right, pop it in, and voila. We've got light. And that is bright. So there you have it. The new Workbench, or whatever kind of a table. That's 3 feet, again, 3 feet this way, 6 feet wide, heavy duty. It's got a shelf at the bottom, and technically it has a shelf on top, really. Put some stuff up there, but I'm not gonna put anything very heavy up top there. Not gonna store metal. Feet are coming. I got some leveling feet coming. Some little ones with, they don't really have to be all that strong because this thing isn't all that heavy. I mean, it's heavy, but it's not machinery. They're leveling feet. They're about $3 a piece, and they have nylon pads, so we're not scratching up the floor. And you could see it's a decent distance away from the lathe, so I could just simply turn around and put stuff here. I toyed around with the idea of having a bench here, but I do like the walkthrough, the flow of it. So now it's, because that's new, and my rollaway was going to go here, I'm forced to to do some redesigning here in my head. So I'm going to have to take all my mechanics tools, I think, and put them in those metal cabinets, put them here. This guy, I don't know what's going to go on with this 10K. where it's going to go. I mean, maybe for the restoration process, I'll do that down in the basement. Who knows? But it might also go back to back on the side of on the back side of the lathe. Anyway, there you go. There's our light, and it's the first thing that's being powered with my new electric. See? Awesome. So I ran into a little bit of a plan changer here with the lights. I tried running some Romex between the joists, but the insulation was so hard packed that I just couldn't get a fish tape through there. So I needed to replace the fixtures that I had with fixtures that had knockouts, half-inch knockouts, so I could run the wires using EMT. These are the Lithonia fixtures that I got at Home Depot, and I'll show the part number right here. They were basically the same price. I think maybe $1 cheaper, believe it or not. Same thing, 4-bulb T8s. I guess the only real difference is there was no like grill. The old fixtures, they had some kind of a metal grate that went over them, but no worries, no difference, and no real change in lighting. So this was the plan changer, and it it required me to get a little bit more EMT and do some bending. So here's the update on the lights. We got all of our lights hung and piped. I got 4 in each row, and I got them piped with the EMT. I've made little packages here of wires. There's my blacks, my whites, and my greens. So I'm just getting them into these little packages of 3, and I'm going to just push them through. And we're going to wire nut the connections from the ballasts. We're going to put bulbs in, and I'm going to flip the breaker on downstairs, and I hope to smile. I can't say it any easier than that. I just hope it all works. I think it's gonna, but we'll see, right? It isn't over until it's over. So the next time I come back with an update, there will be lights, and there will be nice little wraparound bezels on these lights, and all will be bright. Well, we got our lights in. Everything is working. It turned on one shot. I put all the bulbs in. I'm sorry. I put 1 bulb in each fixture, went downstairs, turned the power on, and they all came on. So then it was time to load up all the fixtures with all the bulbs, put the covers back on, clean up, sweep the floor. There's just so much job site debris. Return all the tools to the bench. Now I just want to explain to you how I did this in case anybody else is, trying to do this. So out of the switch on the wall, there is a receptacle in here which originally came with the house. It's just a surface mounted receptacle that had a bulb and one over here. This receptacle has a jumper going through the joists, and it fed this one. So what I did was wired all this in together, and the jumpers to come here and feed this one. Wired them all together to this jumper to feed that, and so on and so forth, and it terminates over there. Same exact thing for this run. So when I flip the switch, obviously, everything comes on. Bent the pipe with the EMT bender as normal. And you could see I put some straps on there because there's, there's a little bit of weight to it. And there's no stud there. So what I did to rectify that was I have these aggressive and high strength mollies, or whatever wall anchors, whatever you want to call them. And they take a number 3 Phillips head, and you just screw them into the wall, and then you have a hole to screw your straps into. And that's what I did. Rock solid. Granted, you're not going to hang anything off that, but it just holds it up nice. There's no weight pulling on it. And I did that for all of them, and it all came out pretty good. All right, so that's going to be it for this. All the utilities are basically done. The one thing that I am going to do in the future is install 2 more lights. I'm going to get some more EMT out of this knockout hole, and I'm going to put one here and one here. Same deal, same thing. I just, you know, I only bought 6 outlets. My whole layout changed because I couldn't get the wire through the joists, so I orientated them this way. I could position them better with the way the joists are running this way. I can move them a little bit better, so that's the way we went. We're gonna put 2 more up here in the future, but it's honestly it's really bright. You know, it probably doesn't represent that well on the camera here, but. And other than that, and finally, truly last, we're going to run through this existing hole. I'm going to go this way and run the PEX for the airlines. Again, I'll have a drop for the mill. I'll have a drop for the lathe. And with all the comments that I got, people suggested putting one down between the garage doors with maybe a coil, you know, coil of hose, which is great for cars and all that stuff. And we got the lathe up and running too. That's the other thing. That's a twist lock up there. And power. So, coming along slowly but surely. Next episode will be the move. All the machines are coming here. I have to do an initial clean up here, declutter, bring all the tools, you know, get the tools put away, get the stuff out of here that doesn't belong here and that won't belong here anymore. And, you know, like the engine hoist is going to go down in the basement to start disassembling the mill and the surface grinder. This saw, I'm going to bring this out. So here's the next plans. The saw goes out onto the driveway. I'm going to get a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and I'm going to cover the sides, the left side and the right side and the back of a 2 foot deep by 4 foot wide shelf that I built. It's wood, but it has open sides and open back, so I want to kind of button it up. I have paint to paint it gray so it kind of matches in here and doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. So I got to do that. That will be moved up in here during the move. Then after the move is done, I'm going to try to document and show as much of the process as possible. You know, how to move a mill, all this kind of stuff. And then the last episode of this whole entire shop move will be when everything is in place, everything is done, everything's hung on the wall that needs to be hung, and that'll be that. So until next time. That's the update for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on moving day.